Alright, here's a little tutorial on generating curves for your distillation data for those of you that are a little rusty on the concept. So here's your, let's suppose you have a plot of volume versus temperature. And so you have one for yourself for the distillation you did and one for your lab partner. So what you're going to do is construct a plot, and there's lots of different ways you could do this. But maybe the easiest way is to just pick one of these and generate a graph. So go to Insert, and you want to pick the scatter plot, and just pick the one with the points for it to start off with. Now probably the default graph will be kind of terrible, so you can change the layout, and I would recommend picking this layout. I think it's layout 1. And so there you have the one set of data. But I'd like you to put both graphs for fractional and simple on one plot. So if we want to add something else to this, if you right click, we can add select data. So one thing we can do is change this axis title. And if I click this series name box and just click on fractional distillation, that cell, it will update the legend to say fractional distillation. And then I can add another plot here, which we'll call simple distillation. I will drag down on these values here for X, and then the temperature values for Y. And we can hit OK. And so now we have both sets in our plot. So now the only other thing to do is clean up the graph because it looks pretty terrible right now. So first we probably want to change this data, this axis, so that we have more closely resembling the bounds of our data. So we'll go to 70 and 115, that should be good. The x-axis is okay, so we will leave that. The other thing we should do is change the title. Right, so we need to actually say what the y-axis is. So this axis is going to be temperature. And there is a way to put in degrees, so go to Insert and Tools and find the degree sign. And we'll put degrees Celsius. And you can either use a comma or put that in parentheses after the title. So we'll put that up there. On the bottom, we're going to put volume collected or something like that. And that unit is milliliters. Alright, so there we go. That's really a good enough plot. Unless you're really picky like I am, but this is acceptable. The only other thing you could do is change the shape of some of these points, because if this wasn't in color, we wouldn't be able to tell the difference between those two points. So this is pretty easy to change, I think. So we just go in and change the marker type. There we go. And we're going to convert this marker into, we're going to switch that to a triangle. That way we can, even if this was in black and white, we'd be able to tell the difference between the two graphs. All right, so there we go. That's how you go about doing that. Actually, and the last thing is to get this out of here. You can use a couple approaches. Unfortunately, Excel does not have a great way of exporting graphs. So you can, directly copy and paste, into a document. So imagine this is my document. We could just copy and paste that in here, and that would work. We'd want to add some kind of a figure legend on here to let us know, so that everybody knows what this is a graph of. Or alternatively, you can put a title on top of the graph. You need to have one or the other. Another option, of course, is to use this approach where you zoom in, hit print screen, so we take a screenshot, and my go-to is paste it into Paint and select around the graph, crop that, and either save that as a picture file or directly paste that picture file into your document. Either way is fine. So that's about it. Hope this helped.